Have you ever had a perfect day ruined by a single comment? One careless word, one negative email, and suddenly your inner peace is gone, replaced by a storm of anger or anxiety. What if you could build a fortress around your mind, so strong that no one could ever steal your calm again? Stay with me, and I will give you the keys. Everything you think you know about power is wrong. We are taught to fight back, to win the argument, to prove our point. But what if the ultimate power lies not in reacting, but in refusing to be moved at all? Today, we unlock the ancient secret to becoming so emotionally strong that you become truly unshakable. A man once tried to insult the Buddha with a stream of angry words. But the Buddha simply smiled. When the man finished, the Buddha asked, "If you offer a gift and I do not accept it, to whom does it belong?" That gift is the anger, insult, and negativity of others. Today, you will learn the profound art of refusing to accept any gift that doesn't bring you peace. Do you ever feel like your own emotions are holding you hostage? It's that familiar, sinking feeling, isn't it? One critical comment, one person's bad mood, one unexpected moment can steal your peace, trigger your anger, and ruin your entire day. You try to stay calm, but you can feel your heart begin to race. You tell yourself to just walk away, but your pride speaks louder, demanding to be defended. You wish you could just breathe and let it all go, but something deep inside keeps pulling you back into the fire. The Buddha once said, "Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned." And that is the profound truth. When you hold on to anger, you are the one suffering, not them, not the situation, you. But what if you could choose differently? What if your peace wasn't so fragile, so easily stolen? What if no one, absolutely no one, had the power to disturb your calm ever again? It is possible. You can train your mind to remain still, even in the middle of chaos. You can master the art of emotional freedom and finally stop being a prisoner to what others say or do. If you are ready to reclaim your peace and rise above the noise, then let us begin. 1. Watch the fire before it burns you. Anger is like a wildfire, intense, fast, and destructive. When it first rises, it can feel intoxicatingly powerful. Your heart races, your vision narrows, and your voice sharpens. In that moment, you feel alive, ready to strike, defend, or argue. But what we so often fail to see in that heated moment is that anger doesn't make us strong. It makes us lose control. It consumes our peace, blinds our wisdom, and leaves behind a trail of damage we later regret. The Buddha gave us a profound warning. You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger. This means that anger doesn't wait for some distant karmic consequence. It punishes us instantly the moment you act out of rage. You suffer, your calm vanishes, your clarity dissolves, and your dignity gets lost in the flames. So, how do we stop it? By learning to watch the fire before it spreads. It always begins subtly. A sharp comment, a disrespectful tone, a sense of betrayal. Suddenly, your body reacts. Your chest tightens. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your fists may even clench. That is the moment of truth. Instead of immediately fueling the fire with a reactive response, you must learn to pause. Feel the heat rising, see the flicker of the flame, acknowledge it. You can even say to yourself, "Ah, here comes the fire." In that moment of recognition, you have already begun to step back. Don't speak, don't react, just breathe. Let your awareness be the water that cools the heat. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly, reclaim your center. In Buddhist practice, this is the sacred pause between stimulus and response. And in that pause, you reclaim your freedom, because fire needs fuel to grow. If you stop feeding it with your reactive words, your wounded ego, and your need for retaliation, it naturally dies out. You become the observer of the fire, not its prisoner. You learn to rise above, not burn within, and that is real strength. Not the strength to shout louder, but the strength to remain calm in the fire and walk out untouched. 2. The mirror principle. Nothing is personal. This is perhaps one of the most difficult, yet most liberating, truths to embrace. One of the greatest delusions we suffer from is the belief that other people's words and actions are fundamentally about us. When someone criticizes you, ignores you, or insults you, it feels deeply personal. It feels like a direct attack on your worth and your identity. But Buddhism teaches something radically freeing. Nothing is personal. Every action, every word, every insult someone throws your way is a projection, a reflection of their own inner world, their pain, their fears, their limitations, their conditioning. When someone speaks with anger, they are revealing the anger that is inside of them, not who you are. This is the mirror principle. People do not see you as you are. They see you through the lens of their own wounds and beliefs. Imagine every person carries a projector. They see the world not as it is, but as the movie that is playing inside their own head. You are simply the screen on which they are projecting their own internal drama. And so, when you attempted to argue, defend, or take offense, pause and remember this simple truth. This is not about me. That one realization has the power to stop the emotional storm before it even begins. If someone spits venom at you and you refuse to swallow it, who gets poisoned? They do, not you. The moment you stop taking things personally, you stop giving other people power over your peace. People are always projecting. A kind person tends to see kindness in others. A jealous person sees threats everywhere. An insecure person sees competition in every interaction. When you truly understand that, you no longer get dragged into battles that do not belong to you. You let others keep their projections. You walk away clean. So, the next time someone says something cruel, pause. Don't take the mirror personally. What they see is their reflection, not your truth. Free. Return to the breath. Return to peace. In moments of conflict or emotional turmoil, our minds become scattered and reactive. We get pulled into the storm, lost in what they said, what they did, what we think should have happened. We lose our footing, our clarity, and most importantly, our center. Buddhism offers a profound and beautifully simple truth. Your breath is your anchor. It is your home, and every single time life tries to pull you out of yourself, You can return through your breath. Notice it in your own body. When anger rises, your breath shortens. When fear takes over, your breath becomes erratic. Your breath is the honest messenger of your inner state. But this is not a one-way street. It is also the first and most powerful tool you can use to change your inner state. The Buddha told that awareness of breath, called anapanasati, is the beginning of liberation. Why? Because the breath exists only in the present moment. You cannot breathe in the past. You cannot breathe in the future. The breath brings you right here, right now, and when you are fully here, the past has no grip, and the future holds no fear. So, the next time you are about to react, pause before you speak, before you argue, before you let that emotion explode. Close your eyes and take one slow, deep, conscious breath. Feel the air enter your body, then feel it leave. Do this 3 times. That is all. In that tiny space, something miraculous shifts. The storm weakens. The urge to react fades. You remember who you are beyond this fleeting moment. This isn't spiritual fluff. It's neuroscience. Deep, intentional breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, calming the brain's alarm center. It turns your reaction into reflection, your raw emotion into potential wisdom. Make this a daily practice. The more you return to your breath, the stronger your center becomes. Peace is not something you find outside. It is something you return to. Again and again, within. 4. Understand the cause, and you'll end the effect. Everything in this life has a root. A fire does not start without a spark, and anger and frustration do not arise from a vacuum. The Buddha taught that if you can understand the cause of suffering, you can free yourself from its effects. This is the heart of wisdom. When someone offends you, it is natural to react to the surface event. You feel wronged and disrespected, but instead of going to war with their words, I invite you to ask a deeper question. What is the pain behind this behavior? Most of the time, people don't hurt you because they're evil. They hurt you because they themselves are hurting. What appears as aggression is often just pain in disguise. What seems like pride is often insecurity looking for protection. Buddhism encourages us to be the physician of human interaction, not the warrior. A warrior sees an enemy and prepares for battle. A physician sees a symptom and looks for the underlying disease. When someone lashes out, you can fight the surface, or you can understand the depth. If you fight the surface, you will only increase the suffering for everyone. But if you look deeper, you activate a compassion that transforms the entire interaction. This does not mean you excuse bad behavior. It means you stop taking it personally. And when you stop taking it personally, you stop suffering unnecessarily. When a dog barks, you don't bark back. You understand its nature. In the same way, when someone speaks harshly, look past the tone. Look into their condition. Are they stressed? Are they afraid? Are they projecting something from their past? When you understand that every action has a cause, you stop reacting emotionally and start responding intelligently. This is what Buddhism calls right understanding. Without it, we stayed trapped in endless cycles of arguing and being offended. But with it, those cycles break. You realize this is not a battle. This is suffering looking for expression. And once you see suffering for what it is, you no longer want to add to it. 5. Stop trying to win, and you'll never lose. Our world teaches us to win at all costs. Win the argument, win the debate, win the respect. We carry this battlefield mentality into our interactions, as if every disagreement is a competition that determines our worth. But the Buddha taught something profoundly different. He said, "Victory breeds hatred, the defeated live in pain, the peaceful live happily, having renounced both victory and defeat." Let that sink in. Real peace does not come from winning. It comes from stepping away from the need to win entirely. The ego desperately wants to win because it thinks being right equals being worthy. But what do you really win when you win an argument? Do you feel lighter and more joyful? Or do you feel tense, exhausted, and still disconnected? The truth is, even when you win the fight, you almost always lose the peace. Now, imagine choosing a different path. The ego sees every conversation as a game of tug-of-war. Wisdom is realizing you can simply let go of the rope. The other person may stumble, surprised by the sudden lack of resistance, but you will walk away free, with all your energy intact. There is a profound lightness in not carrying the weight of having to prove yourself. When you realize your peace is more valuable than someone else's opinion, you stop trading it for temporary validation. This shift takes practice, but once you begin to observe your own impulse to reply, to correct, to defend, you create a space. In that space, you realize, I don't have to play this game. 6. Refuse the gift of offense. In a world where people are quick to speak and even quicker to take offense, peace becomes a rare and precious thing. Someone says a word, gives a look, posts a comment, and instantly we feel attacked. But Buddhism asks a simple, radical question: what if you did not take offense in the first place? What if offense wasn't something that happens to you, but something you silently agree to receive? This brings us back to the Buddha's powerful metaphor. If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong? The answer is clear. It stays with the giver. The very same applies to an insult or provocation. When someone tries to hurt you with their words, they are offering you a package filled with their own bitterness and pain. If you accept it, if you open it, you take that pain into yourself. But if you politely refuse to accept their package, you remain untouched. You cannot control what others say, but you have absolute control over whether you internalize it. Taking offense is not a sign of strength. It is a sign of inner disturbance. A truly peaceful person is like a deep ocean. You can throw a stone into it, but you cannot offend the ocean. It simply absorbs the impact and returns to stillness. Cultivating this unoffendable nature is not about becoming numb. It is about becoming so rooted in your own sense of peace that the words of others are like wind passing by. You feel them, but they cannot uproot you. This practice of refusing the gift of offense is one of the great shields that protects our peace. But protection is only half of the equation. Beyond simply shielding ourselves from negativity, how do we actively cultivate a mind that is so filled with positivity and compassion that it naturally dissolves anger before it can even take root? How do we move from a defensive posture to one of radiant inner strength? That is where the practice of deep compassion begins, and it is the key to our next step on this journey. We left off with the liberating idea that we can refuse the gift of offense, choosing not to carry another person's negativity. But this begs a deeper question. Why do we get hooked in the first place? Why do some words slide off us like rain, while others pierce us to the core? The answer lies not in the words themselves, but in the parts of us they touch. Every time you feel offended, it reveals a place within you that is still seeking validation, still defending its identity, still reactive to the opinions of others. Let's be honest with ourselves. How often do we get offended by things that, in the grand scheme of life, mean absolutely nothing? A stranger's rude comment, a family member's sarcasm, a co-worker's dismissive tone. We allow these tiny, insignificant sparks to burn gaping holes in our peace. But here is the truth. Offense can only land where there is an ego waiting to catch it. Think of your ego as a collection of invisible bruises. When someone's words happen to press on one of those bruises, a past insecurity, a hidden fear, a point of pride, you cry out in pain. The words were just the pressure. The pre-existing bruise was the true source of the hurt. So the real, transformative question is not, why are people so offensive? But rather, why am I so easily offended? This is where your power lies. When you take full responsibility for your inner reactions, you reclaim your freedom. You realize, I do not have to attend every argument I am invited to. I do not have to carry what someone else is trying to dump on me. This does not mean you tolerate abuse or disrespect. It means you stop internalizing negativity that does not belong to you. You can acknowledge disrespect without letting it enter your heart. You can witness ignorance for what it is and walk away with your dignity fully intact. As the Dharma says, hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This eternal rule begins with loving yourself enough to protect your inner peace so completely that no one can drag you into their storm. Offense is a hook. The moment you bite, you are caught. You argue, you explain, you defend, and now you are stuck, tangled in someone else's drama. But when you refuse to take the bait, the hook simply disappears. The drama ends before it can even begin. That isn't weakness, that is mastery. So, the next time someone tries to offend you, smile inwardly, say to yourself, that gift is not mine to carry. Stay calm, stay grounded, stay above, because the most powerful person in any room is not the loudest. It is the one who remains unmoved. 7. Practice noble silence. Speak only when it heals. In our noisy world, silence is often misunderstood. Our culture worships noise, conditioned to believe that the one who speaks last, loudest, or cleverest is the winner. People think if you are silent, you are weak. If you do not speak up, you are surrendering. But Buddhism teaches the exact opposite. That silence, when chosen consciously, is one of the most powerful acts of self-mastery. Now, there is a type of silence that comes from fear, the silence of suppression, of not knowing what to say. That is not what we are talking about here. The silence that transforms your life is noble silence, a silence that is rooted in awareness, in compassion, and in unshakable power. It is a silence that says, I do not need to react, because I have already risen above this. The Buddha himself was a master of this practice. He did not entertain every debate. Sometimes he remained perfectly still, silent, and in that silence there was a clarity deeper than any argument could ever offer. Why? Because words are energy. Once spoken, they cannot be taken back. They can either heal or harm. When you speak without mindfulness, you scatter your energy to defend the ego. But when you learn to speak with purpose, your words become sacred. Before speaking, the Buddha advised that our words should pass through 3 gates. Ask yourself, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it beneficial or kind? If your words do not pass through all 3 of these gates, they are often better left unspoken. Imagine if every email, every text, every social media comment had to pass through this filter. Our digital world would be transformed overnight from a battlefield into a sanctuary. There is immense power in being able to pause, to hear something offensive and not feel compelled to respond. The ego will beg you to retaliate. It will scream, say something, don't let them get away with that. But the wise one knows that not every battle deserves your voice. Sometimes, silence says everything. It means you choose the higher ground. And when you do choose to speak, your words carry far more weight because they come from a place of clarity, not chaos. Your silence can also be a mirror. When you stop speaking, others are often forced to sit with the weight of their own words. Your silence becomes their teacher. You can practice this in your daily life. Before replying to a provocative text, pause. Before reacting to a comment, breathe. Before speaking in anger, wait. Ask yourself, will my words bring peace or more noise? If it's peace, speak softly. If it's noise, let your noble silence speak for you. 8. Detachment is not indifference. It's inner freedom. Many people deeply misunderstand the concept of detachment. They think it means becoming cold, emotionless, and distant. But in the Buddhist sense, true detachment is not the absence of feeling. It is the presence of mastery. It is the ability to feel everything deeply without being enslaved by any of it. You see, our suffering begins the moment we cling. We cling to opinions, to identities, to outcomes. We want life to go exactly as we planned. We are like someone holding a burning rope. The tighter we grip our expectations, the more it burns our hands. Detachment is the simple, courageous act of letting go of the rope. It means you can engage with life fully, love people with all your heart, and do your absolute best without being emotionally owned by the results. Let's be clear. Indifference and detachment are opposites. Indifference is a locked door. It says, I don't care, and shuts the world out. Detachment is an open hand. It says, I care deeply, but I allow the world to come and go without trying to possess it. Your peace is no longer tied to the outcome, and because of that, you are finally free. Imagine entering any situation without anxiety because you have already decided, I will do my best, and then I will let it go. Imagine hearing criticism and simply receiving it as information, without feeling the need to defend yourself or fall apart. Imagine loving someone fully, but without needing them to act a certain way for you to feel happy. That is the unshakable strength of detachment. It is not about feeling less. It is about not being ruled by your feelings. When you reach this inner space, arguments lose their grip. Anger comes less often because there is nothing you are clinging to. Offense doesn't hit as hard because your ego is no longer so fragile. How do you begin? Start by noticing your triggers. When you feel pain, ask yourself, what am I clinging to right now? What belief or expectation is causing this suffering? Then take a breath and consciously loosen your grip. Remind yourself, nothing outside of me can control what's within me unless I allow it. When you let go, not from bitterness, but from a place of clarity, you do not lose anything. You gain everything. You gain peace. You gain freedom. You gain the strength to move through life without being shaken by every storm. So, we have walked this path together, from watching the inner fire to seeing the mirror in others, from the anchor of the breath to the wisdom of compassion, from releasing the need to win to refusing the gift of offense, from the power of noble silence to the freedom of detachment. If there is one truth that ties them all together, it is this: you are not a slave to your emotions. You are not defined by other people's words. You are free, if you choose to be. In a world filled with noise, your stillness is your superpower. Your power lies in responding with wisdom, in protecting your peace, and in walking away without needing to explain. That is true strength. Not loud or flashy, but deep, quiet, and unshakable. Buddhism doesn't ask you to be perfect. It simply reminds you that in every single moment, you have a choice to react or to reflect, to argue or to observe, to take offense or to stay free. Peace is not something you stumble upon. It is something you build. Moment by moment, breath by breath, choice by choice. The next time life challenges you, remember this: you are not here to win arguments. You are here to master yourself. Each of us is on our own journey with this practice. In the comments below, I would be honored if you shared which of these lessons speaks to you most right now. Is it the idea of noble silence, or the freedom of detachment? Sharing our path helps us all grow. If this journey has brought you a measure of peace or clarity today, please support our community by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. We explore these profound truths every week, and we would be honored to have you with us. Thank you for your time and your presence. Go forward, and remember, you are not here to win arguments. You are here to master yourself. Be well.